So this is part 3 of the Epiphone ongoing saga. We have taken apart the tuning heads, tuning machines on the headstock. I have also cleaned and shined. Let me see if I can get that in the movie. How nice and shiny and clean that is. There's a lot of gook on there. It took some elbow grease, but I got it down to what looks like almost brand new to me. Obviously, it's a 60-year-old guitar, as we've said many times before. I also had to do a lot of work on the machine, the tuning machines. They were locked up and frozen. Now I have them all moving freely, so when I go to tune this guitar up at some point, they're all going to work. I also cleaned up all the hardware, as you can see. This is all original gear, so we don't want to lose it. We don't want to compromise it. All we're doing is cleaning it up and getting it into as close to perfect working condition as possible for the age of this guitar. And it will only enhance the value of the guitar and the provenance. So we're going to take a quick pause, and then I'm going to start putting the headstock together. I still have a little bit of cleanup that I want to do before I install the tuning machines. We'll be right back. So this old girl is really starting to shine up. You can see just how much that headstock came back to life. But the real nice to look at, just look at that wood, how it cleaned up. You can see where the machine heads, the tuning machines, embedded into the wood, but how nicely that wood cleaned up and came right back. High quality, high-end instruments. They took their time when they built these, right down to how they painted them and put them together. I have cleaned all the peg head holes in the headstock, so we're going to sort this out and lay them out, and I'll be right back in just a moment. We're going to install those back on there. Very cool moment. Hold on. Okay, so we have the bass side tuning machines in with the bushings. As you can see, I've shined them all up, cleaned them. This should stay when I turn it over. There's just enough to hold the bushings in. We're going to put the screws back in one at a time. They don't need to be super tight. They just need to be snug and pulled up to the body, the headstock. Well, I love the color on that and the way that red came back. That's just pretty. Switch screwdrivers here. Snug, 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 and snug. All original hardware, cleaned, everything turns and does what it's supposed to. And it looks like $1 million on the business end. Nobody ever sees the back, but that's actually the prettier side. All the bushings are there. When the strings go in there, the bushings just stay. They'll never pop out because the way that they're on there. And we're golden. I always thought it was weird that there was no nut to hold these on. Such a strange design, but they never come out. They're all seated, they all found their home again, and it just brightens up the whole headstock. I'm going to do the other side, I'll be right back. Okay, so you can see that we have both sides done. The headstock is cleaned, the sides, the top, the back, and it is looking sharp and standing tall. We are making progress. Now, this nut has been in there for a million years, and I'm getting ready to clean the fretboard. Not dress the frets yet, just clean the wood and treat the wood. I guess if you want to call it a dress the neck. I want to tape up this nut. I want to put a little tape across here so I don't get any goop down in there, because I'm going to get a brush out and start cleaning this thing, and then I'm going to treat it with some linseed oil. This is just to keep some of the stuff from getting on there. The rest of this we'll clean up later. To start with, my trusty, this can go back, this can go back. This is a little too dirty to reuse, so we got a clean one there. And if you've seen this in many videos that I've done, I like to wash the neck, clean it, wash it again. We're going to scrub it a little bit with a nice soft brush. This is just some non-silicone cleaner. And go to it. I can't wait to see how many decades of goop and DNA come off of this thing. I know this seems counterintuitive, but this is how we clean them. You got to get all that stuff off before you can treat it. Once you've done that, wipe all that off. Do I even need to say how dirty this thing is loaded up with decades of smoke and DNA and God only knows what. And look at how dull that neck is, that fretboard. And we'll look at how much goop came off of there. And we're going to clean it again, and you're going to see the same stuff come off. You think one time is enough? It never is. I know I'm going to get a million comments about this, but if you want to sit there with a brand new toothbrush on every fret, and you knock yourself out with it. This is a tried and true method. Even more came off. I may even do it a third time because of the age of this guitar. Sorry about the top of my head there, folks. Yeah, one more time. But I'm going to wash my brush. Sorry about that. I went to wash my brush for the third cleaning because all that stuff ends up in the brush too. So one more time. Normally when I do a guitar I do it twice, but I know this old girl is dirty. Let's get as much off of there as we can. I went to wash my brush so I wasn't putting the same schmutz back in there. See how much more came off? It's just amazing to me. You just keep cleaning and cleaning. Some of it is dye, but most of it is DNA and smoke and who knows what else. It's on there and it stays on there. So the next thing is a little bit of linseed oil. Stand by. Anyone who's watched my previous videos on other guitars knows that, or know that I like the linseed oil. It is great for hardwood. And what it does is it fills in all the little cracks and imperfections in the wood, and it revitalizes that wood. Just going to apply a little bit at a time, between each fret. And this stuff actually gets a little hard, so if there's an imperfection in the wood on the fretboard, it will actually harden up and fill that little imperfection. But what it really does is treat the wood so that it can breathe and move. It's not dried out. You can already see the difference in the color, how it brings that natural wood grain back to life. And we're going to let it sit on there just for a few seconds, and then we're going to wipe it off. So you can already see the difference, even with the bad lighting and the glare, how that came to life. And it's going to stay like that. I'm going to do 2 treatments because I can. And then you dry it off. Just wipe it off with the dry part of the paper towel. And as you're going across the grain, this stuff is actually filling in those little imperfections. And it's nourishing that dried wood. And the wood will actually swell up slightly and come back to life. All right, one more time. One more time. Start with this end. Get a thicker coat, a thicker application at this end this time. This old girl is well on her way to coming back to life. Every day that I know I'm going to work on this guitar, I get excited. I've been excited since the day that I first saw it, and was able to give the owner of this guitar the news that he didn't have a piece of junk guitar. What he actually had was something worth putting all of this effort into. And this is a lot of effort, but it's well worth it. I mean, so far I have checked out all the electronics, I've made several videos, I've cleaned up the headstock, taken the tuners apart, got those sorted out and ready to go. So after I get done cleaning up this area and this part of the guitar, we're going to restring it eventually. But before we do all that, I wanted to get to treating the neck while I have this part of the guitar apart with no strings on it. And like I said, I get excited about working on this guitar. Every day that I know this is the one that's going to be on my bench today, I get excited. I had several other guitars that I've been working on. The SG shaped object that I made a couple of videos on. Customer's going to get that back very soon, and yep, it's a cheap guitar, but it plays right now, and I'm sure he'll be happy. But once I got that out of the way and a couple of other guitars, one of them I couldn't do anything with it. It was literally firewood, and Every once in a while you get one of those guitars where I won't take any money for working on it. It's just not worth it. I gave it back to him. I said, have a nice day, return it to the store, get your money back, and try something new, which he did. I got all those out of the way, and today is staying with this girl. Okay, headstock, tuners, bushings, everything is sorted out there. I just treated the neck. Some people call it dressing the neck. I call it treating the neck. That's going to make that thing sing and feel beautiful. You can see the color, how it was dull and how it came back. The next installment is I'm going to start cleaning this up so you can see the dirt, the grime, everything that I did up here is going to happen down here, and it's in really dirty condition. So the knobs are going to come off, and I'm going to flip that over and probably take the saddle trees out and get this thing so that it looks just as sharp as that part up to here. We'll talk soon. Enjoy.